Yeah, Chief Dr. Sita Chukwu is my name, the National Coordinator of Save Nigeria Freight Forwarders, Importers and Exporters Coalition, and at the same time the Chairman, International Freight Forwarders Association.
Okay, so as a stakeholder in the maritime industry, how do you think the 24-hour operation policy would sustain the economy, and do you believe it will work effectively and efficiently in Nigeria?
It works in many other countries. I don't know why it cannot work in Nigeria. What only that can make it to work in Nigeria is having what we call efficient security, one, and efficient economic driven, technical economic driven, and two, sincerity and transparency in the system. So because one thing that you could understand in Nigeria is that not that we are not professionally being brought up to do this work, not that we don't have the sense to do the work, but the problem we have, I don't know where it's coming from. Nigeria has been a place that one thing is being discussed every year, is never getting well.
My name is Dr. Eugene. I'm the Secretary Customs Consultative Committee, CCC, and Head of Research, Sea Employment Research Center. So,
in regards to the 24-hour port operation, how do you think this will impact the economy and also sustain the community close to the port areas?
24 hours port operation, to say it the other way around, activities within the port and outside the port and port community will be on. No sleeping, no moment. That's the simple way to put it. So we are saying, is it a norm, a practicable norm outside the globe? The answer is yes. So if other ports of the world are traveling 24/7, non-stop, why must Nigerian ports sleep after 6 o'clock in the evening? That's not ideal. So in as much as the terminal operators are receiving cargo, discharging cargo from vessels, and at the same time, stacking them, at the same time loading for vessels to go out, nothing stops the freight forwarders from coming on to take their cargo at any given time. So government have to make a serious pronouncement and follow it with action, implementation plan. Government must say this is an economic regulator, an ombudsman that will raise the red card or yellow card to a reporting person. Shipping line must open up itself totally to automation so that we can leverage on them. Bank will not go sleeping, right? Custom gates are open and their system should be functioning 24/7.
Assistant Controller of Customs, Oyo Oladipo, in Nigerian Customs Service.
Okay, so what role do you think the custom plays in implementing the 24-hour port operation service?
Customs plays a pivotal role and a major role in 24 hours clearance, because definitely that anything that comes into the country must come through our borders, and of course when they come through our borders we have to do our proper security check, and part of our core function is making sure that there's revenue generation and substandard goods are not coming into the country, and as well to tackle smuggling activities.
I'm Captain Sunday Omoren, the Secretary General of the Memorandum of Understanding on Port State Control for West and Central African Region, popularly called the Abuja MOU.
Okay. So I wanted to ask what you think should be the role of stakeholders and policymakers in implementing the 24-hour port operation.
Okay, as I highlighted in my presentation, the starting point is for the policymakers, which is the government, to have that law in place that yes, you can conduct your operation within in a 24 hours cycle. So for you to actually start, you must have the backing of the law. So once you have that done, the next thing is to have the maritime. We have what we actually call the maritime cluster. The maritime is not an isolated profession to which you have one group, like probably customs, standing there saying, I'm the boss. Absolutely not. It is called a maritime cluster because it's a collective company of people that work together for it to be successful. Yes, if everybody is ready for 24 hours operation and custom is not ready, it will not work. If everybody is ready, the pilots are not ready, it will not work. So everybody must come to that agreement. Recall I said something about capacity building. So staff must be trained. in readiness for that operation for it to be successful. There could be an emergency at night. So the hospital people, the emergency team must also be on ground. So all the stakeholders just have to work. You know what we normally will say, all hands on deck, is actually what you need for the 24 hours operation to be successful.
My name is Daniel Dibe. I'm the Deputy Chief Operating Officer for Lekki Deep Sea Port.
Okay, so I want to ask what you think is the benefit of the implementation of the 24-hour port operation in the Lekki Deep Sea Port services and operations.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's very important. Basically, everything around the port is about time, right? Measurement of port's performance is around how fast you transact, how fast you service. You know, so having the full complements of the total number of hours in a day, it's important, right? And again, you know, for the shipping lines, they have to meet their schedule, so they have to be operated 24 hours of the day, alongside cargo clearance, availability of this cargo to the importer. They have to be able to get their cargo within the hours of the day. So restricting any form of port operations to less than 24 hours, you know, creates inefficiency, congestion, and, you know, makes it more expensive to move cargo. Yeah.
My name is Mark Walsh. I'm the Executive Director of Operations of E&L Consortium, Apapa.
Okay, so I wanted to ask the benefits of the private sector, like a terminal operation like the E&L, in achieving the 24-hour port operation.
Okay, for us, I mean, it's very beneficial to us and our customers to be able to work 24 hours a day. It's in a situation that we've achieved over the years, but at the moment now we are working 24/7. Our customers are able to take delivery, and we discharge the vessels in the port.
Okay, so are there any challenges so far, and what do you think could be the preferred solution?
Well, the challenges is that the basic infrastructures, I mean roads, lighting, are problems that are faced by all the terminals. And those things need to be done in this new port modernization that's going on. We need to be able to have good access in and out of the port, and secured access in and out of the port.
My name is Ahmed Ogunshola, and I am General Manager at Trade Modernization Project Limited.
I wanted to ask, with the implementation of the 24-hour port operation, what role do you think the private sector can play in actualizing this goal?
It's a very interesting question. We are a private sector organization, and we're currently implementing a public-private partnership with the federal government of Nigeria, specifically to modernize Nigeria Customs Service. In that context, the private sector can be a very, very strong partner with the government in achieving and actualizing 24-hour operation at the ports. And that's where we come in. And what the private sector essentially does, and what we're very good at, is one, raising the necessary investments that are required for 24-hour port operations, galvanizing the required technical expertise for that to happen, and also reaching out across the world for partners that we can collaborate with and work with to come into the sector. Nigeria Ports is already highly connected around the world. There are many global players here in Nigeria. So where the private sector comes in is to deepen that collaboration and deepen that global partnership to make 24-hour port operation a success.
This was really impactful. Thank you so very much for your time, and have a lovely day ahead.
Thank you very much.